My name is Sommer, and I'm the Chief Medical Officer for the FCB Health Network of Agencies. Part of my job and that of all medical directors within our agencies is to evaluate data for the use in our work. During the evaluation of oncology clinical trial data, I became aware that the racial demographics within many of these clinical trials do not align with, firstly, the percentage of those racial groups within the overall population, and secondly, with the disease incidence and mortality rates for those specific populations. So to the first point, while, for example, African Americans are about 13% of the US population, they comprise only 3% of the cancer trial population. To the second point, when we look at specific cancers, African Americans, for example, experience the highest prostate cancer incidence and mortality rates of any other group. The incidence, in fact, is 80% higher than Caucasians, and the mortality rate is 60% higher than Caucasians. But their enrollment in prostate cancer trials is less than 10%. The intent of this initiative is to move the conversation from academic circles and to raise public awareness around the issue. We really want to demand change. This is both a moral and a scientific issue, as we're drawing clinical conclusions from trial populations that are simply not representative of the true populations. We're excluding patients also from access to novel life-saving treatments that first become available in a clinical trial setting. Our guest today is Dr. Jonathan Villena-Vargas. Dr. Vargas, please tell us about yourself.
My name is Jonathan Villena-Vargas. I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon at Weill Cornell Medicine, New York Presbyterian Hospital here in New York City. My specialty is actually, as a thoracic surgeon, is mostly on cancer, and I have a very big focus on lung cancer, and with many projects not only in the basic science sort of drug developing phase, but also with regards to disparities and how they affect different populations that may be affected with lung cancer as well as esophageal cancer. I've been here for a few years. I trained here, and that's one of my passions is kind of enlightening patients and enlightening the community, especially here in New York. That's such a diverse population with regards to different screening for lung cancer, different prognosis for lung cancer. I think that's something that needs to be pushed forward, and I'm heavily involved in that.
Thanks for that, Dr. Villena. In your opinion, what are some of the barriers that contribute to racial disparities in clinical trials?
I think one of the major ones, at least in the Hispanic community, is something as simple as language. Mm-hmm. When you are enrolling somebody in a clinical trial, you have to be able to tell them, this is why we're doing it, how we're doing it. And if the patient is not speaking the same language or needs a translator, that just doesn't, mesh well. In addition, if we take the race aspect out of it and just look at socioeconomic status, some patients don't have the means to do all the little extra things that a clinical trial can mean, meaning that you do need the extra CT scan or the extra tests, and you need to be driven to the hospital a little bit more often. And, if economically you can't do that, then it's going to be much more difficult for that patient to be enrolled.
So how can some of these barriers that we just discussed be addressed?
There's simple things that can be done, and some people have already started. If you go to the NIH, or if you go, to a big center like that, they will pay for car rides. They will help you with a babysitter or whatever logistical thing that you may need, and that's part of it's already built into the trial with this idea that we have to cut these things out in order to bring more people in. In addition, I think one of the major things that at least I've noticed as a Hispanic or Latino doctor is the fact that when a patient sees somebody like me and they're culturally the same or ethnically the same, that really allows a lot of more comfort. So Sommer, why is clinical equality so important for you?
I've heard the stories anecdotally of people receiving cutting edge technologies and drugs for metastatic disease, and then having their loved one live an additional 7 years because of it. So to me, it's very important that everyone, not just some select few have access to the best and the most innovative treatments available. I want to thank our viewers today. Please like and subscribe to our channel and watch for the next session coming soon. Demand change, take action, sign the petition. Let's not wait to save lives from cancer. Join us. Visit clinicalequality.com.